Awesome. Thank you for tuning in. What's up, y'all? Welcome to another episode of High Low News. I'm so happy y'all could join me tonight. We're going to have a very special conversation. This is one that's near and dear to my heart. We're talking about mental health and the stigma in the Black community, and also resources that are available to us that are for free that we just don't know about. So I have a very, very special guest with me tonight. I am really, really excited about this interview because, me and Mr. Ruban Roberts, we go way back, even before I even knew we went way back. He was really close friends with my uncle, who, passed away from gun violence when I was really young. But to me, it was really cool to make this connection with someone who knew my uncle, because I never knew him. So Mr. Ruban Roberts is the president of NAACP. He's leading a new mental health initiative that he's going to tell us about. He's the president and founder of RER Consulting. He has so many accolades behind his name. A really true community advocate, also a fellow Chief. Go Chiefs, A. Without further ado, I want to bring him on this screen and bring him to the conversation. Hey, Ruban.
Hey, Janae. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming on. I really, really appreciate this.
I appreciate it too. And yes, me and Cadillac, for those that don't know, her uncle's name, our nickname for him was Cadillac Black. And he was a real dude, man, 100%. And we went to Carroll City together, and he was a good friend of mine. I really appreciate it. Never knowing that I would one day meet his niece and that we would build the connection that we have today. So I'm very honored to be able to be connected with you, and I'm sure he's looking down, smiling on all the success that you're having.
Oh man, I really, really appreciate that. To me, it's like a connection to him, and I really like how you kind of came on like a surrogate uncle in a sense for me. But today, this is also a conversation that you and I have had off the camera as well, about mental health and like the importance of that, and it's such a serious conversation in the Black community. So I wanted to talk to you about it because I know you've done some work in this area. I wanted to know from you, what is the importance of mental health for us? Like, why should we take this serious?
Well, one of the things I think that in the Black community, if you look at the struggle that we've been through since 1469, just being brought over here enslaved, and then being deprived of everything, our language, our culture, our religion, everything. I mean, it all stems from that, and it built up until today. And so what happens is that whenever you have folks who have been treated, disproportionately the way that we have, there is post-traumatic stress disorder. And we deal with high levels of stress, even before COVID. Before COVID, we were dealing with high levels of stress. There's a study out there that talks about how Black women's stress levels are 10 times greater than any white woman's stress levels that they're dealing with on a daily basis. You got glass ceilings that you have to break. Fortunately, we are making strides. We got the first woman to be a vice president elect, and she is Black. And she, so these are things that we've been dealing with. People who are not seeing us, not hearing us, not understanding our pain, not understanding our plight. And so this all contributes to how our stress levels, anxiety, depression, everything, how it affects us on all of those levels.
Yeah. And can you talk about the stigma in the Black community? And also, too, we could talk about it from the Caribbean perspective, too, because I know you're Bahamian. Right. Where do you think that comes from? Because I know growing up, it was seen as, oh, you need, the saying, all you need is Jesus. All you need to pray. All we need is Jesus and Oprah. And growing, as I got older, I realized that's not all I needed. Like, I needed some actual professional help to get me through life and trauma that has happened to me. So can you talk about like those stigmas and kind of why they exist?
Yeah, well, because of the marginalization, I think I hear an echo. But because of the marginalization of Black folks, and especially growing up if you grew up in an inner city neighborhood, one of the things that we did not want to do is show weakness. I remember hearing, you're always showing your teeth, or you're too friendly, or that sort of thing. And those were always viewed as signs of weakness. So someone who was dealing with stress levels, I mean, think about it. We experience a large amount of stress. If you ride through Liberty City, Carroll City, Naranja, you see these shrines dedicated to people who were killed due to gun violence. And so, you have so much high level of just post-traumatic stress disorder. And what we've been taught traditionally by our parents, by our peers, by others, is that we must remain strong, that we can't show any signs of weakness, that we always have to show or put on this front that we got everything under control. So the stigma lies in that. And I think that that's something that we need to overcome. Every human being deals with stress. Every human being deals with depression. Every human being deals with anxiety on some level. It doesn't have to be at the level where it's debilitating, but we all deal with it, and we have to own it and recognize it. And once we recognize it, then there's something that we can do about it. But if you're in denial, then it just turns into other issues like substance abuse issues, like domestic violence, which I know you are a strong advocate for against domestic violence. It turns into other things where we try to hurt those people who are near and dear to us, because we're just we're not comfortable with our own pain and grief and anxiety and depression, or that sort of thing.
You know what? I love how you spoke about like that being tough and being hard, and how a lot of people, take that on, and we don't realize like how that's manifesting in our life, and how that's affecting our mental health. So I'm really glad that you touched on that, because it's always that boys don't cry, and especially for Black men, it's like you have to be the epitome of strength, and can't ever show any weakness or any emotion, and that's just not true.
Right. When I was growing up, the common phrase was, I don't care whatever happened to somebody or somebody approaching you, is that he can't kick my butt. As long as they couldn't kick your butt, you was cool, right? So it's like you had to show that strength, that you was strong enough to handle yourself, But hey, it's not all about that. We're human. We have feelings, and then we have to acknowledge our feelings. We have to acknowledge our emotions. In relationships, you have to acknowledge, the person that you're involved with, whatever kind of relationship, whether it be romantic, whether it be a professional, that they have feelings and emotions too, and be respectful of those feelings and emotions that others have,
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And I think that's why the work that you're doing now with My Mental Health Miami is so important. Can you tell us about this program and how it came to be?
Yeah, so my Mental Health Miami is the COVID-19 mental health and wellness program, and we put the emphasis on wellness because our goal is to really create a path to wellness for folks. Listen, prior to COVID, as I mentioned before, we were already stressed out. Now think about it. After COVID, March, think about it. Folks got laid off by droves. So now you're laid off, income is not coming in, and so then your kids are home. Now you're staying home in this house in close quarters with your kids, your grandmama, whoever else is in there. Tensions get, real high because you got all these people in the house. You don't know what the future holds and that sort of thing. It plays a role in your, really increasing your stress levels. It plays a role on your anxiety. I don't know what I would feel like not being able to know how I'm going to feed my family. So these things are things that we're dealing with. And then you compound that with COVID. Most of us, African Americans, Black people, and people of marginalized communities, are frontline workers. We're out there and we're exposing ourselves to, the COVID virus because we have to bring in funds to feed our family and to take care of ourselves. So when you're dealing with that, and that you have an elderly person at your house, or you have a very young infant at your house, and you don't even know, if I interacted with this customer, I'm not even sure if this customer had had the virus, and if that's going to, translate to me taking it back home to my family. Yeah. So these things really came to mind. So I got with a friend and we talked about, you know what, maybe we need to put together a program, write a proposal. We wrote a proposal. We submitted it to my friend and my wife. We submitted it to the county for the CARES Act funding. We received the RER Consulting, received the CARES Act funding. And this is where we are today for the COVID-19 mental health and wellness program.
That's amazing that you decided to take on that part of it, because you see in the communities there's so many people being their food lines and different things like that, and that stuff is important too, but we got to remember, you know, our mental health. And I think it's really interesting that you said, you know, you at the brink of breaking, because even for me during the pandemic, at one point, like, I got mad at my boyfriend for like a napkin or something, and I just snapped, and I was like, you know what, I've been in here for too long, you know.
Right.
It was just a breaking point, you know, for me. And so I realized, like, just certain tools from going to therapy and looking at a lot of mental health stuff and counseling, things on counseling and articles, and tips that I picked up. I was like, okay, I need to step back, you know, take a breather and just, you know, figure out like my triggers and work through those type of things. So I want to know, through the program, like, what does it consist of? Are there different programs, different professional health therapists or counselors that people could tap into? Like, what does this program consist of for people out there in the community?
Well, let me walk you through. But the first thing I want to say to you is I'm pleased that you mentioned that, because the first way to get to mental health and wellness is having awareness. So when you see, sometimes you can snap and not even be aware that, wait a minute, I acted kind of, you know, really harsh on this situation, and maybe I need to fall back a little bit. Your awareness is what kept you to move forward. So this is the steps. You go to our website, and you can see on the scroll, it's mymentalhealthmiami.com. You go to that website, and then when you go to the website, there is a tab in the right corner that says questionnaire. You fill out the questionnaire. It's an empirically validated questionnaire that we have researchers on our team that develop. That questionnaire, this is the key part, will give you a scorecard. The scorecard will tell you where you fall on the index of anxiety levels, stress levels, depression levels, and support. Now, why is that so important? Because we put on this front so many times, we're not even aware of how stressed out we are. We're not even aware of how anxious we are. But that report that you're going to receive is going to really share with you. You'll see either low, moderate, or high, based on how you answer those questions, where you fall on the index. So now, after you've completed that, you receive your scorecard, is what we call it. Then what you do is you at the end of the survey, you have to complete the survey in order for you to get your scorecard. Once you complete the survey, you put your email address in there. So I want everyone to know that this is totally anonymous. We never ask you for your name. We never ask you for your address or anything like that. It's totally anonymous. The only thing that we're going to ask you for at some point is that you put your email address so that you can be contacted by our care coordination team, which is a partner of ours from New Horizons. New Horizons Mental Health Clinic will be providing that service. And what they will do is they will do a brief consultation with you. And then once they find out what your needs are. Now, I want you to understand, mental health is affected by many things. Mental health can be affected by just your inability to know where your next meal is coming from, your inability to know how you're going to pay your bill. All of that's going to affect your stress, your anxiety levels. They're going to give you a referral information where you can get information about mortgage assistance, rental assistance, utility assistance, where you can get a meal. They're going to tell you about employment programs. There are employment programs right now that are partners with us, and you'll see it on our research page, our resource page too. If you look at the scroll and go to our website, where you can get information about employment opportunities through the Beacon Council, where you can get a living wage and wraparound services. So if you don't have transportation, they'll provide transportation. If you don't have child care, they'll provide child care. We also partner with Career Source. Career Source will provide training so that you can retool your skills and be able to enter into the job market. There's also a program. If you worked in the hotel industry, you can receive a $500 grant If you have proof that you worked in the hotel industry prior to COVID,
Wow.
you can receive a $500 grant. You go to our website, and you'll see that information there. Just look at it on the scroll, Miami.com. You can get that information right off of our website. So once you get all of that information and you get the referrals, what we'll do is make sure our care coordination team, once they follow up with you, they'll make sure that you make contact with those referral sources, and then make sure that you get the services that you need. So go to the website, fill out the questionnaire, complete the questionnaire, put your email address in so that you can get connected to the services. On our website, we also have some of the resource information for you too, if you just want to go on the website and look at it yourself. The third component of it is we have a weekly COVID-19 mental health and wellness modules. And this is with my second partner that I have, a primary partner. And that is with Barry University, my alma mater. I received two master's degrees from Barry University. Okay. And so what they will do is they'll provide you with the updated COVID information. If you don't know, COVID is on the rise. And the current administration that we have now is not doing anything to really reduce the COVID. We're getting over 150,000 people a day in this nation, higher than any other place, that are infected by COVID. And guess who's affected by it most? Who's affected by it in terms of the mortality rate? We are. So these are things that we have to take seriously. We're coming up on the holidays. We're used to being in large crowds with families during Thanksgiving and Christmas. Now you have to rethink that whole thing. So these modules will give you tools and techniques that you can utilize to really deal with COVID and how to cope with COVID. Not only will they give you the information about COVID, but they'll give you the tools and techniques that you can deal with. And you can follow that on our social media, and all of our social media handles are My Mental Miami. Anything that you type in My Mental Miami, but you'll be able to see the modules that we have. And then if you go to our website, if you missed one of those modules, you can go to our website. The modules are held on our Facebook page on every Thursday at 5:30 p.m. So you can go there, My Mental Health Miami, get the information that you need to really find out how to cope with this COVID situation.
Man, that's amazing. I want to go to Shakitha Bullard. She just posed a really great question. That's something that I wanted to ask as well. Are the services free, and is insurance accepted?
All of our services are free. So up until the point to where you are referred to another organization. Now, when you refer to another organization, they may have a sliding scale fee, but whatever we are referring people to, we're making sure that there's a sliding scale fee. So if you're not making any income, they're going to base it on your income. But all of the initial services that we have, and the majority of our referral sources, are free. They've already taken care of. So these programs that help you with the rental assistance, the programs that help you with your utilities, the programs that help you with food, all of that is free. The only thing that you may pay for is that when you do a consult and you may need additional mental health services, they may have a sliding scale fee for a charge, but everything else is free. And it's for Miami-Dade residents that are 18 years and older. So we encourage you, everyone, not only you, talk to your friend. If you know someone who's been affected by COVID, or have a relative that's been affected by COVID, if you know someone that's been, it's hard for them to get up in the morning, get out of bed, they have the windows drawn, the drapes drawn. If you know someone that's just snapping over no reason at all, then those are the people that really need to pay attention and be a part of this program. The awareness, just like Janae said, was key. She had awareness. And so as a result of her already receiving some services, she knew that she had to check herself. See, it's not a stigma. All it does is help you towards that path of mental health and wellness. And that's what you need to do. You need to know where you are. And that's why you do the quick survey. And then once you find out where you are, then you can start addressing the issues. But if you don't know, or you refuse to know, you'll never be able to address the issues.
Man, I love that. And I love the fact that you just said it's just that simple. It's like mental health. People think of it as like, oh, what do I got to take medicine or something? It's like literally someone is giving you tools to work through things that we go through every day in life. So in the past, for me, that would have been a whole blowout fight where it was like me stepping back, apologizing, saying, I'm sorry, this is what was actually bothering me. Because the root of it wasn't the napkin. It was because I was frustrated with something else. And I decided to communicate that. And so therapy and mental health services and just learning those things and getting those tools help you with that. And I also like the fact that you said that, you know, people don't realize like losing your job and, you know, it's embarrassing, it's hurtful. You gotta, you know, provide for your family. That affects you mentally. And I experienced that at the onset of COVID before I ramped things back up with High Low News. And I thank God things are in a better place. But for the first 2.5 months, I was depressed. I had no money coming in. I didn't want to get out of bed. I was sleeping all the time. So it was so crazy that you were saying that, because I experienced all those things myself. And I really had to kind of like dig in and like I said, pull on some of those tools that I've learned from therapy and just talking to people who care about me and getting myself back on track. But it's real. And I think people shouldn't be ashamed that they're feeling that, and there are services and for free to help them through it.
The one thing that we want everybody to know is that even though you may feel alone and you may feel isolated and that you're by yourself, you're not the only one going through it. Mm-hmm. And I don't care how much you think a person had their act together. I don't care, you know, they may have the nice cars, the fly clothes, or whatever it is that they look on the external, like everything is together. Everybody, hear me, everybody's going through it, especially during this time. So you're not alone. But what you need is people who are culturally sensitive. New Horizon is a Black-run facility that's been around for 40 plus years. You know, so they're culturally sensitive. You don't want to go to a place where people can't relate to where you're coming from, because they really can't relate to who you are culturally. So we want to make sure that we do that. Our professors at Barry University is a diverse group of professors that are doing that. So they have that cultural sensitivity approach. I wouldn't do it otherwise. I mean, as a president of NAACP as well, one of the things I'm dealing with, and one of the things that really brought this to my attention, is that people call and they're sharing with us their problems all the time. So one of the things I wanted to do is make sure that I can give folks the assistance and help that they need. Listen, we have to help each other. Seriously, people, we really have to look out for each other. Yes. We are in a place right now where you can reinvent yourself. You may be down, but you're not out. You can reinvent yourself. And what you need to do first is find a way to get to that path of wellness.
Man, that's good. And I love what Brooke said. It's just like a lot of us had to learn how to compartmentalize in order to stop from going crazy. Because a lot of things that we experience in the hood and growing up, you know, low income, certain ways, like you have to put it like, you know, for me, I was like, okay, that's over there. I can't even address this right now mentally. I got to keep moving forward, because if you do, you'll just fall apart. And so I really I honestly too, as a Black man, for you to kind of champion this as well, I think is really amazing because of that stigma with Black men too. And so was there something that went into that for you as well? Like, okay, like this is something that I want to take on. Like, was there something deeper that went into that for you?
Well, I've always been in the helping field, you know, as a president of NAACP. But prior to that, I mean, I worked at the University of Miami. I'm a family therapist by trade. I've worked there for over 20 years. And I'm a brief strategic family therapist, master trainer, and model manager. So I've traveled all around the United States and parts of the world, training folks in how to do family therapy. So I've always had care and concern about folks with mental health. I've seen it firsthand. I've seen how people overreact to a situation, and it's not them trying to be malicious or mean or cruel. It's just them dealing with some issues, or not dealing with some issues that are coming to the forefront. They're rising up. What you're going to see now, as I said, I'm going to say it again. Anytime you have pandemic or natural disaster, you see the substance abuse uses go higher. People may drink a little bit more. You see domestic violence happen. People get very short attention spans, and they don't want to deal with things. And they take it out on who? The people who are closest to them. Those are the ones that bear the brunt of the blows. So that right there, you don't want to hurt those people. So whenever you're in that situation, the first thing that you need to think about, wait a minute, let me fall back for a minute. And is there somebody I can talk to, to really help me through this situation. Well, that information is in that scroll right there below. Take that questionnaire, find out what your score is, get the help you need, find out whatever resources that are available to you, access those resources. The key is awareness, nothing to have a stigma around, nothing to be embarrassed about, just knowing that you're doing what you need to do for yourself. Your kids are watching you. Your
Yes.
family is watching you. And even though you may not admit it, they know what's going on. They know when you're off, that you're not, right 100%. And so if they know, and you should know. And if you know, then you need to go ahead and take action so that you can make sure that you're on your path to wellness.
Man, that's good stuff. You mentioned some of your partners. Definitely, I want you to, give everybody their shout outs, but I also want to know if people wanted to partner with you, could they do that? And what could that look like?
Yeah, so anyone can partner with me, and I definitely encourage them to reach out. They can reach out through you if they would like, and make sure that they contact me. I truly believe that collaboration is not competitive. And you know that from when we did that little event over there at Lorna's, right?
Yes.
So I reached out, I reached out to you. I want to help as many people as possible. I want to connect with as many people as possible, because I know that when I rise, if I'm bringing people with me, we all rise. And that's my thing. I'm about building our community. I'm never about tearing down anybody. I'm always about uplifting our community, our people. Whatever I can do to do that, I'm willing to do. So New Horizons, and Barry University are my key partners, but I have a host of other partners. If you go to the webpage, you'll see on our partnership page who's there, and they have resource information for you that will definitely be helpful to you in terms of dealing with this difficult time during COVID. And I want you to know, as long as these numbers are spiking, it's not getting better. So expect the school closures to happen again. Expect for the self-isolation to happen again. We're talking about over 150,000 people a day nationwide in this nation that's contracting the virus. So as those numbers and at the peak during the summer, it wasn't that high. So as these numbers rise, trust me, people are going to be affected. More jobs are going to be more layoffs. There are going to be more things that are going on that's going to affect you. So we must be prepared to deal with this issue. And I encourage you, not only for yourself to go out and fill a survey and get the help and resources that you need for free from Miami-Dade residents. And I encourage you to share the information with others so that they can get the information as well.
Thank you. And I love how you keep saying it's for free, y'all. So it's no excuse for us not to, make sure we go and get the help that we need. And you're right. The cases in, especially in South Florida, have been spiking. Florida has been like a spotlight on us because our cases for COVID-19 has been so much more than the national average. So it's scary to see or know that this could happen again, and people may, like you said, job loss and schools closing and things like that. And so throughout this process, you guys will keep this going. Like, when does this program end?
Well, it's a short window, but I'm hoping that they do an extension. So the resources ends on December 30th. But what I'm hoping is that we'll be able to extend it a little bit beyond that. I haven't gotten word on that yet. So that's why it's important for you to take care of these, connect with these resources right now. Resources definitely are going to be ending soon. And in terms of partnering, I'm looking to expand in Broward County. So you can let your elected officials know. I'm looking to expand in West Palm Beach and beyond. So one of the things that I know that this program does is that it is really focusing on the marginalized community, because we are often the ones that are least, the last, and left out. And folks are not really trying to get that information to us. A lot of times they're funding their programs that are available to us, and we're the last to know. By the time we find out about it, all of the resources are dried up. You go to my website, you're going to find out what's current, what's happening now. You fill out that survey, you're going to get connected with what's current in terms of services that you can utilize right now. And that's what the key is for us now. Let's get out in front of this and not try to catch up after all of the resources are gone.
Yeah, and you know what? And like Michelle just said, hopefully that is extended. And Stephanie, I saw you. The website is on the scroll. I hope you saw it. And also Ruban is looking to expand to Broward. So if you know somebody up there, connect them with them, because we definitely need this all across South Florida.
Yes.
Is there anything that we need to let the people know that we didn't touch on, or something that you want to, leave the audience with?
I just want the audience to know, like I said before, somebody might be watching this right now who really feels like they don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. Somebody may be watching this right now and their future is so uncertain, and they may feel very isolated. They may feel very alone. And I want you to know that you have people who care. You have people who want to offer you some assistance and some guidance. And we're here. We're here for you. We're here to help you. And so just contact, us. You see the information in the scroll. Contact, reach out so that we can offer you some sort of assistance. You're not alone. You're not the only one that's dealing with it. And don't think because of your status, whether you are making $10,000 a year or making $200,000 a year, everybody is going through at some level or another. And I want you to know you're not alone. And we want to make sure that we get you connected with the proper resources that can really, truly help you and get you on that path to wellness. That's the key. If anything else, when you go to our website, we have affirmations that you can look at. You go to that page and you can look on their pictures. Good. You can get daily affirmations, something to uplift you, get you out of that funk, that you may be in on a daily basis. Just go there and just check out what's going on, and make sure you go on, like I said, on Thursdays at 5:30, make sure you go to our Facebook page, My Mental Miami. And that right there, you'll have, for those of you who are reluctant to call someone for help, you'll get key information from those mental health providers. And if you go on our website, we save those modules that we pre-recorded. And you can just go on the website and take a listen to those recordings that we have. You never know what information that you're going to receive that's going to be helpful. Think about it. There are folks right now that are stressed out about this election. I know we all were. So one of the mental health tips that you'll get, I'll share with you. We buy into this 24-hour news cycle, and that you don't even realize how stressed. You may be calm before you watch the news, and then you hear something else that happens, yes. And then you're just totally stressed out behind that. Well, one of the tips was limit the amount of consumption of news, and then that will help you maneuver through your day. That creates less stress for you. So these are things, little small tips that you may not think that's significant, but they're very significant in order for you to definitely function at your optimum on a daily basis. And we want to just encourage you to do that. Make sure you reach out to us on our website. Make sure you reach out to our care coordination team at the numbers that you have listed below. And we're here for you. You are not alone. We are here for you.
I love it. So you said the Facebook events are Thursdays at 7 p.m., right?
Thursday at 5:30.
Sorry, Thursdays at 5:30. And then this is free. And yes. You can also fill out the form anonymously.
Anonymously. Nobody needs to know. We don't care about who your name is or whatever. All we care about is that you have awareness of what your score is and that you have an understanding of what's going on with you. You may feel off, and you may not know. That scorecard will give you some guidance on that. And then if you don't want to seek the services that we have, you can seek other services. But at least you have that scorecard that helps you identify what's going on. All of our social media handles that we have on Twitter, Instagram, on YouTube is My Mental Miami. So you can find that on there, or you can go to our website like we shared with you before, mymentalhealthmiami.com, or you can go to any of our social media sites. But just reach out. Don't ignore it. Don't ignore it. Because let me tell you something, when that stress bottles up, and I know it comes out in a totally different way. And sometimes you don't want to deal with how that stress gonna come out, because somebody's gonna feel the wrath. So before something like that happens, make sure you get the information that you need and connect with appropriate services so that you don't have to you know, we ain't got to go and bail you out or something like that. You know what I'm saying?
You're right. You're right. And it's not fair to the people who are on the other end of that. Man. Ruben, I really, really appreciate you taking time to speak with me, especially about such an important topic. Also, everyone, I'm going to put an article on High Low News with all the information that Ruben mentioned, so that could be a reference for you guys as well. And I'll put it in the description box for the videos on YouTube and Facebook, just so you can share it or you can use it for yourself. But this was such a needed conversation, and I'm so happy that you came on to talk to us about it and what my mental health Miami is doing.
All right. Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. And I wish you, I don't have to wish you, the sky's the limit for you, Janae. And, you know, I know, just remember us little people, you know, when you start making it on national TV and that sort of thing, just remember us little folks. That's all I'm asking.
Man, don't you please, Uncle Ruben? No, we're not doing that. I really, really appreciate the support. I really appreciate you. Like I said, being able to provide this type of content is a part of High Low News' mission. So I really, really appreciate you for that.
All right.
All right.
Have a good one.
You too. All right, y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of High Low News. That was good. I'm going to go on there and I'm going to get myself together too, because free resources is always needed, especially for mental health, because if any of y'all know, it is expensive. So for them to have this type of program out there, definitely take advantage of it and share it with your friends. Guys, be sure to like and subscribe to our YouTube page. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and on LinkedIn. And also subscribe to our newsletter. All that information is on the screen for you guys right there for you to sign up or to connect with us. I really, really appreciate you guys for tuning in today and asking questions. I'm going to try to do more videos about this, you know, important conversations like this. We got to have them. I want to do more mental health. So hopefully Ruben will come back and, you know, break some more things down for us. That was good. I like to see that Black man talking about mental health. Who would have thought? 2020. Let's do it, y'all. Again, thank you for watching High Low News. I appreciate y'all. Y'all have a good night.